How are you doing, gardeners? Ed Snyder with Fresh Picked Acres of Kansas. Glad to have you along today. It's an early morning rise for us. We're getting ready to go out and lay some plastic out in the fields, but let's go ahead and look at what we've been up to. Delia and I have finally got our woven plastic laid out into the big high tunnel, or 30 by 72. Turn right around and planting our tomatoes. We have that being done. We're doing some tillage out in the fields. We have a very favorable forecast. I'm just right there ready to pull the trigger to get some plants out there in the fields, plant my corn, plant my green beans. I just want to verify that we're not looking at frost in the last 2 weeks of the year. I want to pull that trigger so bad. I even saw where a farmer did plant some field corn here in eastern Kansas, and just want to get it done, but I want to look at the forecast a little bit, that 10 days out and stuff. Corn can handle frost if it's just starting to perk through, but if that growing point gets above the ground, that can spell into a little bit of trouble. So got to be a little bit cautious. Also, by letting the soil warm up a little bit more, that corn will just pop out of the soil. Our second planting of sweet corn, we're talking just a matter of 5 days and the corn's already up. That very first planting, though, when you're just barely at 55-degree soil temperature, maybe wants to sit there. Maybe it takes you 12 days. So maybe a little bit of caution there wouldn't hurt me at all. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay with us. We have a lot going on the farm. As always, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It would help us greatly. And come grow with us. How you doing, gardeners? Well, we're in the high tunnel today, and we're laying down our woven fabric. Like I said, something new for us this year. Delia's kicking it and rolling it on out. Our outside edges of the high tunnel have been a real number on us in here, where we really got ate up by weeds. So we were going to go ahead and put some woven fabric on the edge, and then you're always going to end up having weeds come up along where you have your plants, because that's where your water lines are. So anyway, let's go ahead and let me go ahead and help Delia. But they always come up along the edges, or where the water lines are. But we're going to go ahead. We just decided to bite the bullet. We don't have to lay down any plastic. We don't have to do any extra weeding, because again, it's just Delia and myself here. So anyway, we just decided to bite the bullet, put down the fabric. We're going to burn holes in it. We'll know what we'll take a spray can, and we'll write row 1, row 2, and so on and so forth. So this way, every year we can come right back in here, lay the fabric down just as we cut it right now. So all right, let me go ahead and help Delia, but we'll get it cut and straightened up.
Right there?
There you got it. So now you're going to double your end, yeah.
Basically, it seems like all we do is just overlap those two leaves together.
Yep, just overlap the yellows. We should be right. There we go. And then, here, I'll just do the tape measure, but here's 4 foot. 4 foot's right there on that line. How's it look? Yeah. That's it. It'll all be 3/4. All right. All right. I'm gonna make sure that this is stretched over. Okay. Oh. Well, the place looks a lot different in here where they're woven fabric. First time we've ever used it, but it looks good. It looks good. And we're doing it because, as you guys recall, we had a terrible weed issue along these outside edges. And we were gonna go ahead and put weed fabric on the outside edge. But then you still have to deal with the weeds in the row because that's where the water lines are. So we've seen a lot of folks like Living Traditions and some others that turn right around and they use woven fabric in their high tunnel to keep the weeds down so they don't have to fight it. And that's what we're gonna do. Now we're gonna put our water lines and we'll just kind of staple them to the top up here, and but it ought to be good. It looks pretty good. The soils, this house will heat up very nice as far as the springtime, and in the wintertime it'll also be a little bit warmer with this black cloth. I am tempted with my wife here talking to Delia. I said we ought to run some white spray paint across this and verify which goes, and she says, what do you say, Delia? She says no. So so the answer is no. The answer is no. Anyway, that's okay. I think we'll do all right in here. But the bottom line is it's the fabric up on top, the 50% fabric that does a lot. And so now we can go ahead, hopefully, not be fighting the weeds, and I think it looks a lot better. We're just about the end here and looking forward to that. So no, we're going to be planting here tomorrow. Well, good morning, everybody. About 6:30 in the morning on Sunday, and I tell you, we had a wonderful very first farmers market on Saturday. I meant to bring you along with me to show you, but we did okay, you know. We sold all our cabbage that we have, sold our spinach, sold everything. We only had a little bit of asparagus, but we got that sold. Now I tell you, if you were to look at the records of our wind yesterday, we're very concerned. I'm glad to see I have high tunnels still standing. We had a tremendous 30-mile-an-hour sustained winds yesterday. That does not mean the gusts. They were a lot higher. I literally thought it was going to lose a tree over our house there. So that there got pretty scary. I'm going to go out. First off, I need to look at the onions that we planted to verify that those guys are still planted. Because like I said, they don't have a root system yet. We planted them, but nothing to say they couldn't have blown away in that gale yesterday. And Delia is going to, we'll check the cabbage, take a look at it. It was just an awfully rough day. When you have that kind of high winds. Solar eclipse happens tomorrow, and they said the winds actually do pick up from solar eclipses, so perhaps that's part of this storm system. I know a lot of folks in Wyoming, Colorado, Nebraska, and South Dakota got a lot of snow yesterday. I know a lot of people east of here got themselves a heck of a lot of rain. We missed the rain. It did the Schneider parting deal, but here is the cabbage, and I can't believe they're standing up after that. That's wonderful. How the heck? I'm just also kind of looking at the building a little bit here to make sure, but where a dog stepped in it. But no, there's maybe one gone, one cabbage, and there's one that's kind of beat up. Delia said a couple of them had their stems broke, but they're still green. I can't believe they survived it. And we have another day here of bad weather. I tell you how bad it was. Delia said that she looked at our polycarbonate and it was being pushed in between all the braces. I mean, that's pretty thick stuff. I can't believe that the polycarbonate was in trouble. So, all right, gardeners. Well, I'm in the high tunnel here and I'm going to start burning some holes through the poly. Delia and I actually have a our 3.5, what we burned the other day. Let me show you. We got our tin can, our soup can, and I got my soup can here that's 3.5 inches, and so whoop, this here's pulled apart. I guess I moved it. But I'll have to put some stuff in it. So we have our lines right in place. We know where we're gonna put everything. So I'm gonna come 24 inches off my wall is my game plan, and then from there I'll turn right around and start burning holes every 18 inches. That's the game plan here. So let's get to it. So 24 inches for my first one. Here we go. There we are. 24. There we are. Yep, that looks good. For my very first hole, we'll go right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and move every 18 inches now. So let me go ahead and get that centered. And we'll have, yep, there we go. I kind of got a little system here. I don't have to look at it. That's nice. Okay, so I have all of my holes burned out here, so I'm going to go ahead and take my drill bit and I'll go ahead and drill these, make sure that I have the holes drilled big enough for my 3-inch auger, and loosen without catching the fabric. That one's done. Yeah, not too bad. Well, I have 2 rows completed now, so it's going pretty quick. Once a person gets into a rhythm, the nice thing about the fabric is you know, you have the yellow lines there dictating exactly where to run your next, how to keep it going straight and all of that, so you keep a good straight row. Delia and I will go ahead and mark these rows. Like this one will be row 8 and this is row 7, and when we go to pull it up and put and work the soil and whatever we're else going to do, the good news is the fabric will go right back in the places where we took them originally, and we'll have our system in place. But yeah, we're good right now. I got 46 plants per row, so giving us a nice 92 plants ready to go in the ground. Now we're going to go ahead and add some meat and bone meal, and I don't buy just bone meal. I buy meat and bone meal, and it's much more cost effective, and it also throws a few more nutrients into the soil, and that comes from pork. I get that from Mason City Rendering, from Mason City, Iowa. So if you put Mason City meat and bone meal, that'll pull it up, and I can buy a 50-pound bag, you know, for $30, and compare that to the Lowe's or Home Depot or nurseries or whatever. And I mean, shoot, they're charging $14, $15, $20 for a little tiny doggy bag. So anyway, a lot more effective. So we're going to put some meat and bone meal. We're going to put some blood meal. I get that from Mason City Rendering as well. But anyway, making good progress. It's burning very well. Well, for those of you that are wanting to burn your own fabric, holes and stuff, something that Delia and I realized when we bought it. This particular Benzomatic is a TS4000, and the reason we went ahead and bought this is you can invert this. A lot of the other propane burners is it's upright only, so it's not going to do you any good to buy that one and you're trying to tip it over. It's just not going to work. They're not designed that way. You know what is the difference? I'm not 100% positive. Now this one actually works. It's already on, and there's a lock position. I didn't understand what the lock was for, but as soon as I press this button and hold it, I'll have a flame. Just like that. It kicks out a flame immediately. So makes it kind of nice. You're not wasting any fuel. If you don't hear the burner going, you just quickly let go of your finger and re-depress it and pull the trigger again, and you got it. So let me keep going to the next row there. So we're going to move over 4 more feet. Now Delia is going down there, and she's putting in the pre-dug hole, she's dumping in bone meal and blood meal, and you're not putting as much blood meal in as you are the bone meal, right? Yeah, and that meat and bone meal is our fertilizer, and it's also there to help us with blossom end rot. That's the thing about it. And she just going down there, and now we're going to use some liquid fertilizer in here as well. We're not just organic, but it's I do believe we've grown some very good tomatoes. Wouldn't you agree, Delia, doing this method? Yep. I mean, and last year out of this whole house, about how many blossom end rots did we get? I mean, we had
about
a dozen out of thousands of pounds. Yeah, thousands and thousands of pounds. We had about a dozen that had blossom end rot. So I really do believe in it, and in this system. Of course, the blood meal is there for your nitrogen, and it's a gentle nitrogen. It's something there that really won't burn your plants and that type of thing. I like it. It's just been a nice addition to a regular type of fertilizer program. And we come here, it's all natural. But there's your consistency. There's your blood meal, and there's your meat and bone meal. Now, bone meal is usually associated with chalky white. I mean, it's bone. But we're not doing just bone meal, we're doing meat and bone meal. So altogether, that's what the program is. And she's getting them all done. She has her water hose over here ready to go ahead and soak the plants in as she goes. We wish we could have got in here 2 weeks earlier. We're getting to the spindly stage, and but those are our BHN 589. So we're going to go ahead and get in. We're still in here a month earlier than we were last year in here.
In this house.
In this house, yeah. So we're ahead of the curve for this house. And of course, this is going to be where the bulk of them is. 46 plants per row is what we have in this house. So
in 8 rows.
In 8 rows of them. So
Yeah, we're excited. It's we're ahead of the game, guys, as long as we can keep them from freezing. And we're beginning intentionally on the back side here, so this way we're not stepping back over the top of plants as we go. That's the idea, is just don't have to redo things if you don't have to. So all right, and I'll come back in here once she's done, and I'm going to burn holes for our lettuce. And we're also going to have our supports, our stakes. Our stakes will be in here, and I'll bring you guys along and show you what we're doing there as well. So okay, well, we are back in the house, and Delia's planting her stuff right now. She's on row 7 out of it. We're kind of, like I said, we're going in reverse, because this way we're not walking back over the top of our plants. And she's mixing in the
and scooping out.
Yeah, mixing in, scooping out and stuff. Now these plants here, they can actually go deep on these. Now these over here are grafted plants that Delia and I grafted in an earlier videos and stuff. They're getting leggy, but they cannot be planted deep. They can only be planted to the root ball, to the top of the root ball. So Shill's getting these here in. These are red Deuce, right, Delia?
Yep.
So anyway, how do you like this right now? Is it working pretty good?
It's working good.
Yeah, I mean it's different. And yep, she's soaking up the root real good. And then it'll have the blood meal and the bone meal mixed in. And then we'll come back in here tomorrow. What we have, we won't finish planting in here. It'll be close. It'll be halfway done. But with the wind being as it is, we couldn't begin to bring any more tomatoes across in here. But it's looking good. You know, it's just nice. It's easy. It's easy.
Now this row is a lot clumpier than the end of those 2 rows.
It's comfy?
Clumpier.
Oh, clumpier. Yeah, well, this is that dirt. I tell you, it makes a big difference when you choose to dig dirt, because this dirt was taken when it was still frozen, and it just stayed as clods. We could not get it broke up. It's clods. It'll go ahead and it'll freeze and thaw over the winter, and it'll be fine. But yeah, when we went to re-level this house, it just got too bad. I know it's noisy in here, but look how nice this is all going to be. Just go on back through here, but I'm still in the process of burning my holes right now, and everything's on 4-foot centers. It's going to look nice. It's probably the easiest job in the future years as it goes. We are going 18-inch centers. We could go 24, but I don't know. I've always been a production person, and I try to push it. Nice root balls coming out of there. And she's going to go ahead and get that. She's going to add some extra soil. This particular dirt is so dry that you really can't get but so deep on it. But
that's why I'm filling it up with water, and then I can scoop it out better.
Right. But you can see the mixed in bone meal and blood meal in there. And we'll get the drip lines in here tomorrow, but boy, it is windy and just too much for us to do right now. And I'll get in here. We're going to keep our eyes on the forecast, but I want to certainly go ahead and get post pounded. And because these guys are tall enough, they would benefit from having a couple of strings on them right now. But in the event we're going to get some, if we get any weather, then I'm going to want to cover them up without having a 6-foot post in the way. So that's a nice handle, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really just about perfect for, out of all the ends that we do, that's about as good of a way of doing it as there is. Yep, that'll just get shoved to the side and clumps. She almost has it.
This way, we need to scoop out more. Now it's easy.
Now you got it. Now you got it a little bit of a muck there now. Yep, good idea. Good idea. If we could have, we would have been in here a week or two ago, but these plants need to go a little earlier. But that's all right. They're going to come out of it. You even got roots sitting on top of the ground, do you?
Yep.
Yeah. There you go.
Give it some more water.
Yep. A little bit late on the seedlings, but we're early in the year, aren't we?
Yep.
What is it today? April?
8th? No, 7th.
April 7th.
Tomorrow's 8th.
There's some important birthdays coming up next week. It's her son's.
So you're talking about yourself.
It's her son's birthday. I'm not talking about me, even though it is my birthday next week. But
My one son was 2 days ago, and my other son is 2 days from now.
yep, 2 days. Yeah, 4-day difference, huh?
Yep.
You know, my family was born 9 months and 15 minutes apart. I just wondering how you got yours 4 days apart.
I don't know.
You don't know. Not going to go there. All right. Well, you need 4, 5 to finish this row.
The tallest 5.
Yep. There you go. Pick out your tallest 5 for right now. Yep. Some of these are pretty small. These are actually regrown, aren't they, Delia?
Yes.
So we went ahead and suckered some of these to go with the grafted, but some of these came back.
You can clearly see where.
Yeah, you can see where they suckered and they're growing.
Where they were cut right there.
So we cut it, but now it's suckered and it's bringing up a new shoot. So there actually was plants as big as those, but we needed a few more to graft, and so we stole from them, and seeing how they decided to go ahead and grow, well, we went ahead and said, well, all right, we'll take the sucker out of them and we'll plant them ourselves. So, yep, that looks good. These are going to look like a lot. These are going to look like $1 million in a week. I know they are. So this particular benzomatic, as we talked about, the TS4000. It works by just pushing the button on it, and this one you can invert it. And I already have my thing lined out, and I open them up a little bit, and I go on to my next one. It goes pretty fast, really. Just a little bit wider because I don't need to. 54 is my next one. 72. Open. I end up opening up a whole lot anyway. 90. And then the last is 108. Got a little bit of burn. There, I'll stomp on it. And then what I'll do is just slide this on down. You can lay out a map if you wanted to, and I reline this back up with halfway down it, and then I'll continue on. And I just double check that I'm on track with other rows behind me. Six, 54, 72. I got a little organic matter there. Then 90. And then 108. Well, I'm going to keep going. Well, we're moving right along here in the high tunnel. Delia is still, she's in the process of, these are the grafted tomatoes, and they have a little bit of a weakness at the union. Show them about where it's kind of weak at, Delia. So you can see.
You can see right there is where the grafting
that's
is.
That's the Maxifort right there on the bottom, and of course those are red Deuce on top. And so they're a little weak, so on those particular plants we are using bamboo stakes to kind of help support them in the early days. And then of course these will be Florida weave or basket weave in here when we're done. I got all of the holes drilled. They've all been burned. They're all drilled, so that part of the job is done. I want to get some water lines in here. So what I'm doing is in the back here, I'm going ahead. We have to get our stakes in, and I want to be able to use, and I'm using a post pounder, but one of the problems with drip lines is your header row will want to suck in. As soon as it's all done and over with, this header row wants to kind of retract, kind of act like a slinky, and it'll retract back into the row. So to avoid that, I'm actually, as you can see here, I'm going to use my stake. I'm placing it beside the plant, and then it's going to turn right, and then that will be my support. So when the header wants to retract, it's going to go up against my my T-stake, and we're going to be in a much better position on that level. So that's kind of the game plan. We're learning about this. Basically, you go 4 rows or 4 plants and you stick in another stake, and that continues on all the way down. So this is going to be good. It's looking a lot better. I wish Delia would hustle and get this job done, but it's okay. We'll get it. She's probably saying the same thing on other projects of mine. So we are adding the bone meal and the blood meal, and then you soak it in. Now, what does the soaking help you do, Delia? By getting
well,
it,
as you know, when you're drilling, it's very, very hard.
It is hard.
Sometimes I can't scoop out the dirt because it's so hard. And once I put water in it, I can scoop it right out.
you can scoop it out. Okay. Yeah.
And it also distributes all the fertilizer that we're putting in.
Helps get the fertilizer going.
Yep.
Okay, so you're about done with that pile there.
Watering the plants because when I pull them out, I like it to be a little bit dry. It's easier to pull it out of the cup
versus wet.
Yeah. Then it's a mucky mess, and half of the dirt stays in the cup. And
right.
So these are a little on the drier side. It's easy to pluck them out of the cup.
The roots will pull out.
Saturate that in there so they can start drinking water.
All right. Well, very good. We'll keep going here. Well, Delia says this is as dark as it's gonna get right now here. There's our house. But so I'm gonna meet her up the greenhouse. She's got her iPad. We're gonna look at it through the iPad, indirectly, of course. So, but this is midnight for us in totality. Yeah, there she is. She's more focusing on working than she is about seeing it, I believe. There's a white dog. It does look different. There we go. So you can see it?
You can kind of see, I mean, I took a picture of it and I took a little video of it, and you can kind of see the halo on it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the screen is really dirty.
Yeah.
Do you see it?
Is it done?
No, they said till about 3 o'clock. Don't look at it.
No, I'm just aiming the camera up there and maybe they can see
till
it.
about 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
See, there it is.
I don't see nothing.
No, it's not. But the difference is, before even when I called
you can see the light.
I said it's, well, don't, you want to look through that? You can.
No, I'm looking. No, I'm just using this.
You can see that there's barely any clouds in the sky.
Right.
That it's super sunny, but there's a darkness.
There is a darkness.
Like it's going to rain.
I know what it is. It's got a lens over the top of the. That's what it feels like. Like you have a lens.
Like it's going to rain, but there's no.
Yeah.
But this is it. As dark as it's
well, this is it. As much as we're gonna do. The water's calm.
Yeah.
Even the geese are back.
Are they? Where are they?
They're over there. You just can never find the geese. They're right along the shore here. Oh. You got to look. They're little.
I see them now. Yeah. I see their little feathers.
Yeah. It is a different kind of a light out here.
No, I went to take the dog up. I'm like, this has got to be it. I go.
Yeah, I think it is too. I didn't want to miss it. Not that I'm seeing anything, but I said, oh, it's like there's some kind of a lens over the top. Yeah.
It said till about 3 o'clock you can see it, but this is as good as it gets for us.
Look at all the asparagus coming along here, folks. We got quite a bit coming on. These here are a little bit slower right there. There's one right there. There's some still coming on, but yeah, we have quite a bit of asparagus. Yep, that guy's ready to be picked tonight. Yeah, good time here. Okay, so now we're getting ready to run our drip lines. Let me go out there down the way and pull the next one out. I know it's nice to have that roller on there. Okay, you ready? All right. Over one more. You need to get yourself. There you go. There you go. Outside. There you go. Okay, so now you guys have seen a lot of folks do this, but I'll show you too. Just using our drip tape. Or connectors, and it's going to be all the way there. Oop. If you get it, there you go. You got to have it straight. It wants a double. It'll have a good connection. We're not a real hot day. If it was hotter, this would go on a little easier. We're just right, really. What do you think, Delia? 60s? Yeah, mid-60s, so I mean, the plastic fitting is nice and tight. I'm going to have to cut this one and come back. Delia, why don't you give me an extra? There you go. Pull what you got right there. Yeah, and just cut it, and we'll have to come back on this one because I'll have to cut this. This is not going to seal up. But there she has that. Let me go get one for the next. We're running two drip lines per. We're running 2 drip lines per row of tomatoes. So I'll have to come back on that one. Let me get you guys sitting straight up again. There you go. Yeah, we'll have to do that one again. Does that help? Okay. That's a good idea. Make sure, wait a minute. There we go. There we go. Thank you. I just want to make sure I'm holding it right. All right, Delia. I'm ready. You probably want to pull some extra. Yep. Now, Delia was smart. I never thought about it. She told me to go ahead and lick it. So I'm going to go ahead and moisten that up a little bit and see if that one helps. I'm getting this one. You want to come down and get the scissors for this one? This one I messed up on? Yeah, that did help. Remember that, folks. Put a little juice inside of that.
I think last year we did the WD-40 or whatever.
Did we?
Yeah, they had a can over here.
Yeah.
In
See, these are secrets I didn't know about, but I can. Let me clip that. Well, you left this a little long. Get my little pinky a little wet. Let's try it. A lot better. Yeah, that's it. Just some spit. Here you go. Just some spit. And that fixed it. Well, we have our drip lines all running here. They're all hooked up to the header line. And we're going to probably run water in here tomorrow. We could have done her tonight, but everybody was watered in here yesterday, so I think we're in good shape. Our focus tomorrow is, of course, we've already rolled up the sides. Now, I know a lot of you probably go ahead and leave your curtains with it down and that type of a thing. We do when it's real cool and stuff, but if you get a bad windstorm or, there is no advantage to a nighttime window opening. Technically, it doesn't make it any warmer or cooler at night with the, there's no solar advantage or disadvantage. So we go ahead and roll them up most of the time at night. That, in case we get a surprise thunderstorm or anything like that, we don't have to worry about the high tunnel blowing away or catching air and that type of thing. If you get a big, if you get a big windstorm, probably the best thing for a person to do is have the curtains all the way up or all the way down, and we kind of prefer to have them all the way down. Now, so I've added some weight. We got weight on there, a couple hundred extra pounds. I have my shovels. We have staples for the other end and a hammer. We'll start out by laying white plastic, the white on black. You want to have the black underneath, so that'll prevent the weeds. If you just have white plastic only, what will happen is weeds can still get light, and so having a black on one side and white on top, you have the advantages. From a study that I went to a seminar, a person who the soil temperature itself is right at ambient temperature, and if I recall, it might even be a half a degree cooler than ambient temperature. Don't hold me to that, but remember, you're talking about sun reflecting off of the white. So if you have produce, I really kind of wish my bell peppers, I would have gotten white on them, but we are going to go out and put out our bell peppers early. Hopefully they can get ahead and be successful on the black plastic. But anytime you're worried about heat affecting your plant, you might consider the black on white, and there's guys that are actually finding, red color is beneficial to tomatoes and all these different things from studies. It's interesting. So the only thing I might be running a little short on, and that's water. I think I have enough out here to do the farm tomorrow, but I have more in the shop. It's not a problem, but I'm not going to load up the other one. If I do get close to where it wants to run out, we'll turn right around and run up to the shop and hook up another line to it. So I think we're ready, folks. I think we're doing about as much as we can do. I'll go ahead and get drip lines or the stakes put back into the high tunnel. Exciting about that. So very cool. Very cool.